Today I'm painting a commission piece. I was DM'd, fixing my sock. I was DM'd last week from somebody saying they loved my work, and one of my greeting cards in particular called the wildflower bouquet, which is honestly a pretty old piece of mine. I think that my style has developed a lot since then, as well as my the detail in my paintings. But they loved that particular piece and asked if I ever sold originals, to which I said I do if people inquire, but I did not have that one available. And so that led to us discussing a commission piece. And I typically will go through a series of questions to find out what exactly they're looking for, what drew them to the piece of mine that they liked. I've learned that with commissions, it's important to over ask questions and get very specific about the details, because I've done enough commissions where the client does not actually like the outcome, and I didn't find out the reason for that until the piece was complete. I've just learned, I've learned a few things. I've learned that commissions are not my most favorite form of artwork. I'd rather create out of inspiration and then someone express interest in it and then be able to sell it to them. But I'm always grateful for work, and always grateful when people like my stuff enough to trust me to paint them something. So although it's not my absolute favorite form of artwork, I think sometimes I get too in my head, and then I don't actually feel like I have the ability to be free when I'm creating and overthink what I'm doing. Where with commissions, I tend to get in my head too much and overanalyze those things. But this piece will be fun. It's a piece that's particularly wanting to highlight aster flowers, which I think are typically purple, but I'm going to try to do them more in a pink tone because I think that will match the composition better. And then the request was to do some more tropical flowers in the mix, which is an interesting combination. And I did one version of it that I did not like a whole lot. It's a great trial run because I think I'm going to stick to more particular flowers, and I'm not actually going to go with purple flowers. I'm going to go with pinks and oranges and greens and some green yellows, because I think that composition will complement each other better. And then I think I'll go for a different color vase. I think I'll make it maybe lighter, maybe in the orange family, maybe something like that. So that's what I'm working on today. I'm excited. I'm gonna start by sketching stuff out, and then we'll go from there. But it's very fun when somebody likes your artwork, and getting that DM is always so exciting, and also makes me a little nervous because I want people to like what I paint for them. And I still have that feeling of wait, do they actually really want my artwork? Because in my head, all artists go through their little imposter syndrome moments, and then it's sometimes hard to believe that people actually like your artwork and want to buy it. So it's fun. I've tried this new thing where I set a timer when I'm doing projects. I think it's easy for me to get distracted because I have a million things going on in my head at one time, and I have not fully mastered or learned how to compartmentalize all the things I'm thinking about in regards to the business, whether it's marketing or new products or new season or what's the next holiday coming up or what is the greeting cards or what about wholesale and brand partnerships and all the things that it can be very busy in my head, and I can feel very distracted and end up sitting on my phone, which, as we know, does not always produce great outcomes, but wasted time. So I'm working on being more productive with my time, starting with just logging my time in Toggle. Toggle is a platform I previously used at my old job, and I also, somebody that I listened to this podcast by Bonnie Christine, and someone she interviewed, I cannot remember her name, but someone she interviewed discussed also tracking your time, and that she's done it forever, and she has like a 7 going on 8-figure business at this point, and she said she's always tracked her time because it helps her know how to even price her work, which I thought was interesting. And so I'm kind of trying it out and gonna see how I can make my time more efficient and my processes more efficient. Something else I do when I do commission work is often just find inspirations for what I'm working on, and then I like to have my laptop nearby just to reference shapes of flowers, color palettes, whatever reference photos I have. Sometimes I just like to have them handy so that I can quickly glance at it and reference it. And then I'm also having my old piece there because I think it will be helpful to look at what I did and what I did not like about it and try to improve. So that's why I'm looking this way sometimes, because I am looking at my computer and reference photos. For the longest time, I had no eraser that worked on watercolor paper, and I finally bought an eraser the other week, and it's a game changer. Should have bought it literally forever ago, but now I have one, and it makes such a big difference just for little marks, or even after the fact of sketching out my work and painting it, then I can erase the lines. And I actually often like to keep the lines, but if I ever want to erase lines, it's nice to have that option. Or for the longest time, I never could. Turns out I'm not super great at talking and sketching, but it's just because I'm thinking about my composition and what I want it to look like and how I want it to be portrayed. I really love, there's like this giant, like a palm leaf. It's like a very tropical looking leaf, and I think that'd be fun to incorporate in this piece. It's like very dramatic, oversized. Or I guess I don't have to make it quite as big as some of these, but it's so fun. I just think it would look really cool. Yeah, so for this piece, I get complete freedom with color palette and composition. The only thing is that aster flowers and some tropical flowers would be included. There's so many unique flowers in the world. Like, sometimes I'm looking at some reference photos and I'm like, I don't even know what kind of flower this is. I need to like work in a flower shop or something and get totally acclimated to all the kinds of flowers. I think it would be so fun and helpful. Study my flowers. I actually have a few books on florals I should just pick up and start reading, just to help me know more about flowers and all that. It was actually really fun for my wedding. I decided to do my own flowers. Well, I decided for 2 reasons. One, because the cost of florals is extremely expensive, and I understand that it's like an art form, and you're not just paying for flowers, but you're paying for the florist's creativity and all the work that goes into it. But I actually really love flowers, and I've always loved arranging flowers, and having worked in the event industry, I've dabbled enough in all of the things to feel comfortable with flowers, where I felt confident I could execute my vision. And I love throwing parties and all the things. So I decided to do flowers myself, and I used a friend who was a florist here in New York before she moved back to Kentucky, who helped me with her business. Or she has a flower business now, and she helped me order some flowers as well as talk through just my needs and help me arrange like the composition of the flowers and stuff for the main pieces. And then on the day before my wedding, me and my oldest sister, who flew in from Washington, she's also very gifted with flowers and making things beautiful and tablescapes, and she always has thrown the greatest dinner parties and tea parties and things. So I knew that she would be like the perfect florist assistant with me. And we went to the New York flower market, which is cool. You can go to the flower market and actually, without a business license or anything, you can just go and buy them wholesale. So you don't even have to have a business license to buy flowers there. You obviously would get cheaper flowers if you went with your wholesale license, but you can also just go as an individual and buy the flowers, which is what we did. And it was so much fun to just go and see what they have and get to pick the colors. And so once the flowers arrived from the farm that morning, I guess probably the day before they arrived, and I processed all the flowers and trimmed them and took the leaves off and all of that, they stayed overnight. And then that following morning we went to the market and got to pick what I felt like was missing from what we received from the farm. So I got to like add in the last bits. And then my sister also suggested some great flowers that really just made my bouquet pop. And yeah, just was so very pleased at how my flowers turned out. I could not be happier, and with the right circumstances, would recommend it to everybody to do if they feel like that's something that they would want. It's definitely accomplishable. I think my backup plan would have been to go to Trader Joe's, and they have great flowers seasonally and great prices. And I think from what I understood previously, you can go in and tell them what your plan is that you're going to come in and you're going to buy X amount of flowers. And then if there's some seasonal flowers that you're looking for, like for sure tell them what you're hoping to get. And they will often like place more than enough flowers then, knowing that you're going to come in. I don't think you can pre-order through them, but I think you can at least let them know. And then typically they'll order more of that style for you or kind, so that there's more than enough for you to get. So definitely worth checking your local Trader Joe's if that's a route that you're interested in trying out. So much fun. And then it's obviously a lot of work. You have to source the vases and source everything, but we saved thousands and thousands of dollars doing it myself, because I wanted big floral pieces with little green in all flowers, and that's the most expensive that you can do. Very pleased with how it turned out. I think I would have done my bridesmaids bouquets slightly different. Looking back at pictures, I think I would have trimmed their stems. We left really long, and we didn't wrap a lot of ribbon around it, and I would have cut their bouquets shorter and maybe wrapped more ribbon around it, or maybe a bigger bow on it or something. But all in all, turned out pretty good. So I'm happy. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out one more flower and where to put it. I think those are cool. I didn't really put any of those in yet. I don't want to make this piece. I don't want to make this piece overly busy, and I feel like I've already got a lot of things going on, so just trying to figure out what flower would make sense to put here. Got that one and that one, maybe another one of these up here. that looks weird. I think I'll do that same direction. It's funny, this time of year the sun sets so early that it feels like you hardly have any daylight to get things done. So I'm grateful. Interesting composition. I'm grateful that it is still daylight and that I'm painting while it's light out. It's much preferred to paint in natural light than it is to paint under my lamp. Which, speaking of my lamp, this lamp I use, I'll show it in another video when I'm actually using it, but it's like a canvas lamp knockoff, I guess. And I think it works great for what it is. I mean, I think the canvas one definitely looks more appealing, and it has a few different features. Like, it actually has a base where this one clamps to the table. But it was like a fraction of the price and has been serving me well for evening sketching or artwork, or just lighting for video stuff, or little table tripod. We'll definitely have to show you guys that at some point. Okay, I think I'm liking this composition. I'll make this slightly smaller. I'm not always best with like straight lines. Okay, yeah, this is like perfect. I think I want to add a couple of these little, I don't even know what these little spiky orange flowers are called, but they're very cute. Sometimes I get too detailed in my sketch, and then my paintings are like very, very detailed, almost like drawing. And I love when the watercolors are more loose, so I'm attempting to try and paint less specific with my, or sketch a little less specific so that my paintings are a little bit looser, not quite as stuffy. I don't know, I think this is nice.